So what is middle childhood? You tell me, you were there once. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Middle childhood is agreed to take place from ages 6 to 12. During this time, kids aren't growing as rapidly as they were in infancy, however they are still maturing at a steady pace and are on average healthy. This is also a time where kids really want to establish themselves and seek independence. They've developed self-concept, which means they are aware of their identity and where that places them in the world. And they love their friends. Who doesn't? A wise man once said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." Theodore Roosevelt. But kids don't give a shit who Theodore Roosevelt is, and so for that reason, they are constantly comparing themselves to and want to be just like their peers. This can lead to issues with self-esteem, but thinking about others isn't always a bad thing. One positive development is that kids start to have a basic understanding of empathy. The perspective shifts from pre-conventional morality, which is more focused on rewards and punishments, to conventional morality, which is focused on social norms. In psychology, there are three primary areas of development: biosocial, cognitive, and psychosocial. One example of biosocial development during middle childhood is selective attention. Kids begin to use this skill around age 7, and it involves tuning out distracting stimuli so that you only receive crucial information. One piece of information I can give about selective attention is that if you're a fan of the show One Piece and you've been zoning out, I bet your ears just perked up. That's selective attention at work. If you're not a loser, however, a better example would be keeping your eyes on the ball during a sports game so you aren't distracted by the crowd cheering, or even holding a conversation with a friend in a crowded room. You're still able to hear them despite the noisy environment because your brain is working really hard to make out their voice. Similar to the example I stated earlier with One Piece, if someone were to call out your name from the crowd, it would likely cut through the wall of noise and register in your brain that someone needs you. In the psychosocial realm, we have industry versus inferiority. In the left corner, we've got industry. Now, let's take a look at the right corner. We've got inferiority. Let's begin. Jimmy needed Dad's help pouring orange juice this morning. And that's a right hook for inferiority. But Jimmy also did his homework all on his own. That's a big ol' uppercut from industry. Inferiority is down. 1, 2, 3. The ref is in and he says, the winner is Jimmy's sense of self-concept. I don't know, this metaphor sucks. So yeah, basically, this goes with what I was talking about earlier in kids wanting to establish their independence. There are certain social expectations placed on kids at this age, and if they cannot meet these expectations, they feel bad about themselves. The important thing is that they want to retain these skills consistently so that they can receive acceptance from those around them and don't have to face social rejection. Our final term today, related to cognitive development, is automatization. Automatization is developed after repeating the task so many times that you no longer need to consciously think about it. For example, reading. Hey look, you're such a pro at reading, you're doing it right now without even thinking about it. But you weren't always like that. Take yourself back to a time, likely during middle childhood, when you had to sit down with an adult and sound out every letter individually to make out a single word. While this task was frustrating and tedious at first, by age 10 you could fluently read like a machine, which is a pretty cool skill in my book, because without it, you wouldn't be able to read my book. And finally, this leads us to what many roads lead to in psychology, a theory proposed by a dead white guy. This one specifically, named Jean Piaget. Piaget was born in Switzerland, 1896, and would later develop his theory of cognitive development. He stressed the importance of adaptation during development and even divided cognitive development into 4 separate stages, which I will briefly cover now. During the sensory motor stage, infants interact with the world mostly through their senses and motor skills. Babies are little scientists, as they say, and are always looking for ways to level up their cognition. And so, eventually, they move on to the pre-operational stage and unlock the ability to broadly think about abstract ideas, and even use basic language. That's not enough. By middle childhood, we've reached the concrete operational stage. These kids are applying logic like it's nothing. And by we are maxed out. We have become big brain thinkers who are thinking logically about abstract ideas. It's crazy.